What's going on, guys? Commander Santa here, and welcome back to Buffalo Valley. So today we are on episode 25, I think. I think that's right. I hope so. So that's pretty cool. One of the things I kind of wanted to talk about today was I wasn't really sure where I wanted to go with this episode. So last episode I pretty much finished up the roller coaster there. And if you haven't checked it out, feel free to check it out. I have a POV video out of it. It's not the best because frame rate's getting pretty bad now. So that's one thing I'm actually starting to contend with, is pretty bad frame rates. I'm actually at the point where I'm starting to kick most of the populace out of the park. That has helped a lot. And now I have to actually do all my builds kind of paused, which isn't a big deal. I just, I don't know why, for some reason I was just like building while not paused. I just let the simulation go, but something's got to get done, so it's kind of frustrating, but what are you gonna do? My computer can only keep up so much, which is pretty surprising. It has kept up this much for this long, in all honesty. So, but yeah, make sure to check out the POV video for that. Yeah, and I apologize, it's a little choppy, but it'll get the point across. It only gets choppy when you get the full view of the park, when the camera gets in full view of the park, because, well, it's rendering everything in the park. Because facing the direction of away from the park, there's literally nothing. So, and there's a lot of rocks the other way. But from the point I started this park to now, I've learned a lot of optimization techniques for just kind of general scenery stuff, and I've kind of getting myself off of being super particular with super duper up close detail in some points, just because some of the points it won't be noticeable from certain angles, and most of the time you're going to be looking from up above and almost an isometric view. Sometimes you're going to be looking close, but, not always. So I make the things that need to be detailed, that need to, look good up close. And, other things that, you might just, pass by and you won't really see too much. That doesn't need to be as detailed as the other stuff. So that's pretty much been my ideology for that. But regardless, check out that video. I'll link that in the description. Excuse me. So moving on to what we're working on today, I had a YouTube user actually give me this idea, and it was an absolutely fantastic idea. So if you remember a while back, I was talking about possibly doing a star fort, almost like Fort Ticonderoga style, which is a old fort by me, which is really cool place to go. They do a lot of old reenactments and stuff, and it's just a very cool place. And this one user commented on one of my videos hey, I saw you were talking about, doing the Fort Ticonderoga in one of your past videos. Why don't you try this fort? And it was almost like a frontier, pretty basic, almost like frontier outpost style fort. And I really liked the look of it. So, of course, I put my own little spin on it. And I did a lot of research of looking at different frontier style forts. I literally Googled frontier forts and just kind of reading about how they built them and stuff. And I didn't want to make anything super duper crazy. So I kind of wanted something a little bit simple, a basic big guard tower almost, or a general meeting tower. A few buildings, maybe horse stables or something. And that's pretty much it. That's all I really wanted into it. I didn't want it to be this huge, super crazy, fort, walled community almost. I don't know how to explain that. You'd have those big communities inside the forts, and I wanted this to be more of an outpost style. So I was giving this a try. So right now I am working on the actual tower building itself. And I have to say, it took me a while to actually enjoy the look of it. Planet Coaster was a little weird about the grid sizes on making things a little bit bigger, because most of the forts you see with that tower, they have the base section, and then the upper section actually comes out a tad bit, but not like a full grid size as in like Planet Coaster. So I had to try and get that somehow, so I ended up using those wooden boards, as you can see, and just kind of like giving it a little trim around the outside and then detailing the crap out of it. And that, I actually thoroughly enjoyed it after I completed it, you know. It actually looked really great. The only thing I'm not too sure about is the top section, because the roofs don't line up good at all, because we don't have like half roof pieces, or there needs to be a few more specific pieces, in my opinion, for Planet Coaster, but that'll be a complaint for another day. Otherwise, you know, the game is absolutely fantastic, but you know, that kind of stuff only really affects us, like people that like need to do these really specific builds. It doesn't really affect the general user, which I totally understand from like Frontier standpoint. So I try not to complain too much about things that like would better my life, when I know there's going to be, they're trying to cater to like the normal users. They're going to pick up the game, download things off the workshop, and just play the game, build roller coasters, and do the simulation. Not, you know, spend days upon days placing rocks and trees and crap like that like I do. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Moving on, we're still pretty much finishing up this tower here. One thing I wanted to say is I was actually really happy with the way I ended up doing this entire build. I actually have it in very modular format almost. So the walls, I ended up like separating one of the wall sections a little bit later, and you can take the walls and extend the walls. You can make more walls. You can make this place bigger. And then a little bit later, I built a few houses and stuff, and you can actually take these houses and you can make them longer, maybe add another floor if you really want to. So I'm probably going to upload this whole thing in the entirety onto the workshop. So definitely check out the link in the description for that. That should be up by the time this video goes out, I hope, as long as I have enough time to do that. Other than that, yeah, it's going to be really cool. I'm kind of happy with the way I actually turned that out for this. So one of the things I wanted to ask you guys, and I need to get your opinion on this, is I'm not entirely sure where to put this. If you guys remember, or maybe like, you know, just from all my videos, I'm not entirely sure where I need to, where this was going to fit in a little bit better, and what should be around it. I'm not sure if I want to do another pond, or put it up against like, not really against, but like set it back a little bit. And I'm not sure what I want to theme around it, but I just really wanted to build this thing, so that's kind of why I'm building it kind of on its own, sitting out over here doing its own thing. I really wanted to build it, so I just wanted to get it done. So nothing really fits inside. I'm thinking about like changing up some of the houses into a few shops, but as of right now, it's just a basic build. There's nothing really too exciting for actual guests to do, you know. In real life, this would be like a really cool thing for people to come check out, you know, but in the Planet Coaster simulation, you know, I could put an entertainment point in the middle, but that'll be pretty much all the people care about. They're just going to walk in and look at it, but I don't know. So definitely give me your opinion on where you think I should set this. I'm also thinking about maybe backing it up to the railroad over there. That might be actually really cool. I'm not sure. I have to do some path work, and maybe it could just like sit in the middle here anyway, because it would look really nice, and it's actually kind of eye-catching, and it'll get like actual people to walk down here. If this was in a real park, it would get people to walk down here and come check it out, thus bringing them into this other section of the park, which would be very, very cool. So I think right now I'm actually starting the actual building, which took me a while to get correct. Now, the building I was kind of basing this off of was a very, very simple Frontier, almost just kind of home. And we didn't really have the pieces to make it look exactly like the image, so I had to do a few different things. But one of the things I wanted to get done was keeping it simple. And then also, I needed to make sure I got the fireplace looking perfect. Now, with the fireplace, there isn't actually a good like frontier style fireplace, so I had to make one myself. And I think it turned out actually pretty good. One of the things I would actually love was like 1x1 grid pieces or something like that, just for like the buildings and everything. Because we don't have like normal brick, like single brick blocks that don't, the brick blocks we do have aren't the older style brick. They're not like, what is it, the rough brick or whatever. And I can't change its color to like the grays I actually like doing with the bricks. So I actually had to make this chimney almost a little bit wider, and it kind of looks silly, but I don't know. It looks like it would fit, and maybe that's just me being very critical of my own work, but I don't know. I do actually kind of enjoy it, and after I put the smoke cloud in it, it actually looks really cool. And with a little bit of detail, and then if I ended up putting some bushes around it and stuff and some more rocks, I think it'll actually look really good, but I really would enjoy some smaller pieces to work with. But again, like we talked about earlier, you know, that's not going to be really good for the average user. I don't know. That's just me. I guess that's just my complaint. I don't know. So, as you can see, this is me adding a little bit more detail to the chimneys and everything, and I'm actually pretty satisfied with it. Adding a few more details to the front of the building, just to kind of make it pop, make it less boring. If you guys remember one of my first episodes, I kind of talked about making buildings not boring. I mean, every building, in a sense, is, you know, just a simple box. And it's up to you to add all the details and everything to it to actually make it pop and actually make it look realistic almost. Because you could leave your buildings absolutely normal, but a little bit more detail is very, very easy to do. And there's a few like super easy tricks to do that just can make your buildings pop, you know, with like different color shades. My favorite thing to do with these wooden buildings is just doing a trim with other wooden logs, or not logs, but like the wooden posts. I think they're like the 1x1 wooden posts. They're not really 4x4s, but, and just a little trim here and there, maybe around the window and everything. And as you can see by the building and the completion of the second building, in all honesty, they weren't a lot of work. So they're pretty straightforward, simple buildings. But I mean, that's the time period for this. It's pretty simple. So that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, one of the last things I do work on actually right now is a stable, and I am so happy with the looks of the stable. After this episode, I ended up going back during watching a few videos and streams and stuff. I ended up going back and adding a few more details and such, just to make everything pop a little bit more. So I think I added some hay bales and some hay to the stables here. Added a well to the center of the compound, and then I ended up going and individually going to every single wooden wall piece and raising them and lowering them so they all aren't like super flat, if you understand what I'm trying to say. I kind of made them almost look like I guess I just varied the sizes almost. They don't look super flat and plain. You guys will be able to see that in the end credits or the end cinematic shots. So definitely let me know what you guys think of that. And yeah, that's the end of this video. So let me know what you think in the comments for sure. Like I said last time, make sure to give me an idea where you guys think I should put this. And also make sure to hit me up with any ideas you want to see in this park. I'm definitely considering the haunted forest right now, and then a like kiddie park perhaps. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So hit the like button if you really enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. It pretty much supports me every subscription. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.